And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv.
Come to Harbor Cove Cafe, where the palm trees sway, where you'll find my ties and zombies you'll crave. Your hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker. Tropical libations, feel the island vibrations. Taste the flavors that delight in our paradise of the night. Sip on sunshine in your cup, life's a breeze, so drink it up. Harbor Cove Cafe, where the aloha stays. Your perfect getaway at the end of the bay.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge. I am R. Scott Bolton. Well, I don't know why that's so loud. It's crazy loud. Wow. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we watch where we talk about show business.
And we watch each other.
And we watch stuff and we talk about it here on. We do not watch each other. That is disgusting. Look at you.
It's weird. Yeah.
Anyway, I hope the sound quality is okay. I'm going to check this in a second because I know why. That's much better, isn't it? I had my speaker on. So anyway, that's Johnny D sitting over there.
Hi, guys.
And today's episode is brought to you by Frosted Chocolatey Chip Pancake Pop-Tarts. Now, I want Johnny to take a look at his Pop-Tart. And Johnny, you see those chocolatey chips that are on top of those pancakes? On top of those Pop-Tarts?
That's what those are?
Don't they look more like voting chads? They're not so much chips as they are chads. But that's okay. All right, let's see if we can get this volume maximized again. There we go. That's much better. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is the Backseat Mogul Show. We're going to talk about show business. We're going to start off today talking about books because today is, excuse me, November 16th, which is in the month of November, which just happens to be National Novel Writing Month. And those of you who've listened to the show, who've watched the show, know that I do it every year. This will be my 13th year, I think. 12th year, 13th year doing it. Every year has produced a book. Some of them have been published, not all of them. There's several that I'm still working on to get into a publishing state. This year, after lots of pushing by Johnny D and other people requesting it, I actually wrote a sequel to Dead Dick. So Richard Keene has returned. It's the 16th of November, so we're about halfway through November, right? But I'm 72% through toward the $50,000 point. $50,000, I wish. 50,000 word goal. Your goal with National Novel Writing Month is to write 50,000 words towards a novel in 30 days. I'm way ahead of that. I'm at 72% already, and it's just fun getting back to these characters. Richard Keene, who's a private investigator, Angelica, who's the savior of the world, Reverend Mother Mary Shelley, who's she's the protector of Angelica, and
there's the little cherub.
Buster, of course, Buster's back. And it's the book is called #Hellstrong. And I got the title because you always see when something bad happens, there's always #Ventura Strong, #Mexico City Strong, #New York Strong. And I thought, well, what if you were a citizen of hell? #Hellstrong.
I'm doing the hashtag. Okay.
That's pretty good. That's John's gang signal, the hashtag. Because he likes corned beef hash. Who has good corned beef hash here in Ventura?
I don't know. I have not had it in
I
a.
bet Art's Corner Cafe has awesome
Oh, I bet they do.
corned beef hash.
You know who else? I'm Danny's Deli. I bet they
Danny's
have.
Deli probably has. So
But
this,
you know, the best corned beef hash that I've ever had was whenever we went to Vegas or Laughlin. Those buffets, those breakfast buffets.
well, it wasn't all the breakfast buffets
That's
because
true.
some of them some pretty bad corned beef hash. But the one that I always remember, and it's long gone, was the one at Whiskey Pete's. Whiskey Pete's had a buffet there.
That's
It was,
right.
it was then. I don't know how it is these days. It's just a little dive casino with a dirty hotel and whatever. But
They had a premier steakhouse.
the Johnny went to the steakhouse
It
one
was
time.
premier.
And they were famous for that too. And
Mm-hmm.
they were also famous to us, at least, for their breakfast buffet because it was so good. You'd go to these buffets at Planet Hollywood or Caesars, and they weren't as good as the little dirty one, not dirty one, the chintzy one at Whiskey Pete's. Anyway, I don't know if it's still there. I'm not even sure Whiskey Pete's is still there.
Yes,
Prim has gone through some really bad
Yeah.
times. So
I got a thing in the mail from Prim, or I should say from Prim Valley, and apparently it was highlighting all three
they
casinos.
reopened Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills is now reopened. I heard that.
Oh, we got to go. We got to go.
Well, you can go, John. It's not have to be we. You can get in a car and drive.
Well, hopefully that same bartender that was serving us those big shots. I mean, I'm talking big shots of
Patron tequila.
yeah.
He was trying to kill us. He was giving us
Oh,
like
yeah.
tumblers of Patron tequila.
Oh, so good.
Anyway,
And it was the Blanc. I can't remember. Do they call it silver or Blanco?
yes.
Exactly. Ooh, so good.
We're going to drive up there on Wednesday. We were supposed to go up there tomorrow, but my brother got stuck in Costa Rica. So we're on our way to Las Vegas on Wednesday, assuming he can get out of Costa Rica. Rains have been horrible down there due to that hurricane. It's interesting. The hurricane's not near Costa Rica. It's actually on the other side of the peninsula or whatever, but it's still wreaking havoc where they are. So they've had foot deep floods and all kinds of things. They had 3 flights that were canceled. And they finally got something scheduled for Tuesday. My fingers are crossed they're actually going to be able to get out of there.
What about the house that they're in? Is it in danger? Of...
No, they're fine. They're where they're at is fine. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's heavy rain. Anyway, I'll check it out and I'll let you know what's going on there. Back to National Novel Writing Month. I always want to tell people about this, not because I'm so excited about doing it, which I am, but because if you're a writer or you want to be a writer, this is the way to get it done. The beauty of National Novel Writing Month. What's funny?
Well, you said this is the way.
This is the way to get it done.
Well, no, when you said that, all I was thinking of was this is the way, and that is from Mandalorian.
This is the way I get a handgun and put a bullet in Johnny's head. Anyway,
Hey, people are jumping up and down. I see them.
This is the way to get it done. This is what you want to do because it makes you focus, and focus is key. If you can just write 1,600 words a day, a little bit more than that. And I know that sounds like 1,600 words. Anybody can do that. Most people can't type that in a day. Try writing it in a day. It's about 8 pages. It's about 8 pages a day. I've been averaging about 2,500 pages a day because I'm just rocking it this year. I got the 3 days I'm going to be gone in Vegas, and I got the 4 days I'm going to be gone at Thanksgiving. So I got 7 days that I won't be able to do much writing. So I got to get it all done before then. Plus my birthday is on Wednesday, the 27th, and I have no intention of doing any writing that day. Anyway.
Well, also, I have to throw this in, the fact that you're what I am, kind of, sort of, but not really, semi-retired. No, say you're not. You have more time during the day to write.
It helps a lot. Yeah. That Shelley's actually said that too. She says it's because you're not at work, even though confession time, when I was at work, I did a little writing sometimes.
Yeah,
Anyway.
what are they going to do? Fire you?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, it makes you focus. It makes you sit down. And if you write every day like that, even for just the 30 days, you can finish a novel length project in those days. 50,000 words is considered novel length. And if you can finish that, even if it's bad, even if you don't finish it, even if you get 50,000 of what eventually will be 75,000, it gives you that focus to continue to do it every day. At the end of the month, you've got something that, like I said, right now, if you read hashtag Hellstrong, I guarantee you it sucks. But I'm going to go back and fix it and massage it over the next year. And eventually it'll be published and it'll be pretty good, I think. So, I mean, it's absolutely ludicrous. That's one of the things I like about writing books about in the Dead Dick universe is that you can just, whatever you want to do, all bets are off. You can do it. You put, how many, my nuns are running around with Mac 11s, it's just crazy, but it's just fun, And, I got the devil in it. I got God in it. They're having meetings. It's just crazy, but it's freeing in a sense because I can just do whatever the heck I want in that universe. But you can do anything too, by the way. You don't have to write a novel. You can write a screenplay. Yeah. You can write a stage play. You can write an essay, whatever you want to do.
You could write poems.
You could write poems, 50,000 word poem. Maybe Dante could get away with it. I don't know. We could, but yeah, you can do anything you want. But this, if you just sit and try it, it helps you focus and get a base. And once you've got that base, you can mold it into something decent. And that's what I've done for the past, I think it's 13 years now. It's a long time, whatever it is. Oh, you know what? I actually have a picture of it here. Let me pull up my page and I'll show you what, I guess I won't because it's not converted. But anyway, why is it not converted? This is the part of the show where you people go, oh, this is interesting stuff.
Oh, it is actually. I find it quite interesting myself.
Yeah, because you can see it. All they see is our dull faces.
I
don't know. It's strange. Anyway, if you go to my website, which I can tell you what it is, it's I can't even tell you that because this is an interior website. You go there, and if they track your writing every day, you actually track it. You put the number of words that you've completed, and it keeps a running total. Right now, I'm at 35,867 words out of 50,000. So my book will not be done at 50,000 words, but it'll be close. And then when I finish it, probably close to 55,000 or 60,000 words, I'm going to put it away. I'm not going to look at it till maybe January or February, and then go back, reread it, start making some changes. And the other thing is I will have ideas as I go along, as I'm thinking about the book once I've finished it, and I'll just jot those down and then I'll go back and work on them. But this segment really isn't about me and the writing I've done for NaNoWriMo.org. It's about you who are out there who want to write something. Take this time, take this challenge, and do the National Novel Writing Month. Now, I know many people who have said they're going to do it, and they don't complete it. And that's part of the thing. You've got to commit. You've got to finish it, what you do. Otherwise, you end up with nothing. You have to commit. My brother was going to do it this year and use AI to beat me in the he was going to use AI to write a novel, a 50,000 word novel, and try to beat me to show him that he could do it. He hasn't even done that. So,
but the month's not over,
and he can probably do an AI novel of 50,000 words overnight
in 50 minutes.
Yeah, probably so. But anyway, he just thought it'd be funny to teach me a lesson by doing it. But again, it's not about me. It's about you. If you're a writer or you want to be a writer, you've always wanted to write something, and don't go to your friends who are writers. Because I can't tell you how annoying it is when somebody says, oh, you're a writer? I have a great idea for a book. I don't care. Write it yourself. I have my own stuff. I get this all the time, but you can write it yourself. You can sit down on November 1st and start writing. And yeah, it's going to be a big pile of steam and crap at the end of 30 days, but you've got it done. And you can always go back and fix it and manipulate it and make it good. So I highly recommend it. I'm a monthly donor for the National Novel Writing Month. It is a 401. Is that what they call it? 501 nonprofit.
I think it's 401.
It is a nonprofit.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit no matter what. So I donate every month to them because they've given me the focus I needed to sit down and do what I always wanted to do. And like I said, I've got 13 completed books in 13 years. Some of which are done and published, some of which still massaging after all these years, but I'm going to continue to do it. So anyway, it's more of a pep talk for those of you who are writers. National Novel Writing Month. Now, I know what you're saying. Thanks, Scott. It's November 16th and you're telling us this now? Sorry.
But let me interject. You did say it towards the beginning.
I did, but I should have done something bigger.
You
like
also
I'm doing
talked
now.
about it last month too, telling people what you were going to be doing this month.
I did. I realized that, but at the same time, I wish that I had, done a little bigger thing like I'm doing now. But anyway, so again, for you writers, if you don't do it this year, because it is November 16th, do it next year. Just go to nanowrimo.org, NANOWRIMO.org, sign up, and they'll send you newsletters. They have guest speeches. They have discounts on a lot of writing software that you can get and use. I'm still using Word. Word works perfectly for me. It's a community. They even have, and they don't have it in our area, unfortunately, they have write-in parties. And there was this place up in Santa Barbara that did it every year, and I never went, and I should have. And the person apparently had a very nice house in Santa Barbara on a cliff. And people would go out there and sit in the patio, have coffee, and they'd write their books together. That's just a cool little community, you know? And I really should have done that at some point, but I didn't. But you don't have to do that. Again, I don't interact with anybody during this. I just write my book. And 72% to my goal for hashtag Hellstrong. I'll easily finish it, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'll be done. And then I'll have something that I can shape and manipulate, just like you can. If you're thinking of writing something, that's the way to do it. I cannot recommend National Novel Writing Month enough. So please check it out.
I have to also interject with this. You told me a long time ago.
Yeah, but I was probably lying.
Oh, okay. But you told me a long time ago that if you don't have an imagination to pull something out of the air, write what you know. Right from your life experience.
You always mention that I say that, but I don't believe that.
Well, that's what you said.
No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. A lot of people say that. A lot of people write what you know, but I tend to agree with Stephen King. Write about anything you want to, and then learn about it. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, one of the things that probably hurts me as a writer is I'm not a horror writer. I'm not a science fiction writer. I'm not a mystery writer. I'm not a romance writer. I write all genres because I tell the stories that I want to tell. Mm-hmm. I don't want to pick a genre and just tell that story over and over again.
I understand that.
But that hurts people. Stephen King. What's the first thing that happens when you mention Stephen King? What's the first thing that pops into your mind?
For me, it's Stand By Me.
No, I don't mean that. I mean genre.
Oh,
it's horror. There's no other answer to that. But he writes so much more than horror. Stand By Me is a perfect example. But he got known for horror first. I don't have that feather in my cap because, first of all, I'm not Stephen King, and I would never pretend to be. Even though my book, the Traveling Room, I tried to write in Stephen King style, but that is not published yet. But if I had a genre, people might know me. Oh, it's the horror writer. It's the detective writer. And those detective ones are really my favorites to write, the Brace Heller novels.
You did do one horror.
No. And see, that's my point. You're missing the point completely.
No. I'm just,
because my point is I want to write a story. I want to tell a story, whether it's horror, whether it's mystery, whether it's fantasy, I'm even thinking maybe trying a romance novel. It just depends on what story I want to tell. So yes, I have told many multi-genre stories in the past, including.
But the one I wanted to say, Neath, which was excellent.
I wanted to tell a haunted house story, and the whole reason that Neath came to be, thank you by the way, is that I thought to myself, in all these haunted house movies that you see, every one of them, when does the house first start getting haunted? When do you start first noticing the house? When somebody moves in, right? Somebody always moves in and the house is haunted. What would happen if somebody moved in and then 3 years later their house got haunted? That was the whole catalyst for Neath, and turned into what it turned into, which, by the way, might be about my house, but we'll talk about that off air because I don't want to give anything away. My son's coming down today. He'll be here about noon.
Nice.
Anyway,
with all this being said, Scotty is a fantastic author, and go to Amazon.com, type in R. Scott Bolton author in the search engine, and it's going to pull up a lot of, I didn't use that word, books. Okay, I'll use it. A plethora. I just love that.
And nobody knows what plethora means, but that's okay.
That's okay.
The point can't.
Of books.
You made your point. Yes.
Of books that Scott has written. Some are hardback. Most are paperback. And I think are some or all available on Kindle type?
They're all available on Kindle because more people, sorry about that, folks. More people buy Kindle these days than they buy regular books. So of course they are.
Now myself, I prefer a hardback book over paperback. But with all that being said, go to Amazon.com and look up all of R. Scott Bolton's books. Buy them all. You will be amazed, as I am every time I get to read one, that he gives me one to proofread. I am amazed.
John is part of my quality control team.
And
by the way, where's my notes?
I'm still working on it.
Running out of time, man.
Yeah. But R. Scott Bolton is a fantastic author. Amazon.com, free delivery if you have Amazon Prime, and you get one of those books, whether it's hardback or paperback, you contact us at...
I got a better way. Go to rscottbolton.com, buy the book through there, and I can sign it for you and send it to you.
Oh, there you go.
So
buy these books. And remember, hey, Christmas is pretty much around two corners.
It's probably, it's close. If you're going to buy a book for me, if you're going to buy a book by me for a present, I got to slow down. I just started my caffeine too. Then order soon. By the way, here's my panel for the National Novel Writing Month. You see there, it's got the title and the cover. I'm going to change that cover, but that's the cover right now. #Hellstrong is the name of the book. The challenge is NaNoWriMo 2024. So the challenge is the 50,000 words novel by the end of November. So far I've written 72% of it. 35,867 out of 50,000. And these things on the bottom here, these little medals, they're little fun medals that they give you. For example, that first one is if you've updated your score 2 days in a row. The next one, 3 days in a row. The next one, 7 days in a row. The next one, 14 days in a row. Well, I update mine every single day, so I always get that. The 1667 is whether or not you wrote the minimum, which is that's your minimum each day in order to get 50,000 words in 30 days, 1,667. And then there's more below it. They used to have some fun ones like, were you wearing pants or shorts? And you'd click it yourself or whatever you wanted to do. I think those went away, but it's still fun to do. And again, it gives you the focus and it gives you the concentration on focusing on your book, getting it down, getting the words in place, realizing that it's a pile of crap, and then going back and fixing it. I mean, I've gone back a couple of chapters in #Hellstrong so far a couple of times, and I've made minor changes, but I realize throughout the whole thing, as the story unfolds, I got to go back and fix that. And the whole character of Angelica in this book, I didn't like her. She was dull. She was boring. She's kind of milquetoast. And I thought, no, that's not my Angelica. My Angelica is a warrior. So I went back and I made her a warrior. So anyway, it's going to be fun. NaNoWriMo.org. Go there if you're a writer. If you don't decide to join this year, just sign up and get in their newsletter so you can remember to do it next year. They have different things all throughout the year, like they have polishing February and different events and things you can do. And as I said, I'm a monthly donor because I think they're doing a great service to everybody. And it's given me 13 books in 13 years.
And I'm going to throw something else in there. If you don't do it for this National
Novel Writing Month,
I don't have a problem.
November is National Novel Writing Month.
But if you don't join it this month, or you think, okay, this month's half over, it doesn't have to be this month. Do it take it upon yourself. You don't have to join NaNoWriMo Writing Month.
NaNoWriMo.org. No, you're right, Johnny. And I was going to mention that, but at the same time, if you don't have the backup of the community, if you don't have the backup of them pushing you, don't forget, then it's harder to do. That's why I always, even though I could write anytime I want to now, I always choose November to start a new book because I know that I'm going to be focused. Shelley knows that I got to have 3 hours a day to write, and we get it done. So that's really all that matters. NaNoWriMo.org. Please go there if you're a writer, if you're even thinking about being a writer, or if you're one of those people who has a great idea and we want your writer friend to do it. No, take it and do it yourself because you can. You really can. All right, we're going to take a quick break here with our friends from Pele Uto, and when we come back, we're going to play the segment they sponsor. Is it as bad as they say it was? We'll be right back. Pele Uto. Reno's only traditional tiki bar. A kaleidoscope of colors and tropical charm with the undeniable allure of paradise and intoxicatingly delicious cocktails. Pele Uto. Open Wednesday through Sunday from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. 1275 Stardust Street in Reno, Nevada. For more information, please visit pele-utu.bar. Is it as bad as they say it was? We'll find out now on the Backseat Mogul Show. All right, so today on Is It As Bad As They Say It Was, we have a new movie, 2024, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And the movie is entitled Killer Heat. Killer Heat. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Killer Heat. It is a story about a wealthy identical twin who is climbing a mountain, a very steep mountain. He does this a lot, and he falls to his death, splatters on the rocks. There we go. And is dead. But his sister-in-law thinks something's fishy. So she hires this detective from the States who comes out to Greece where they're at with the cliffs. And she tells him, look, I don't think he fell accidentally. I think he was murdered. And so the mystery begins. Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a detective who's got some issues because he has a real jealousy rage. And his wife is having an affair, and it leads to some pretty violent and intense moments in his life in the States. So he's glad to be over here to escape to Greece to figure out what's going on here. And he eventually solves the mystery. Now, sorry, I almost jumped to my thing. Shailene Woodley also stars in the film. She's excellent as always. Also a local Ventura County resident. Richard Madden from Game of Thrones is also in this film. It was directed by Felipe Lacote, whose films Night of the Kings and Lamb earned both a 96 and an 89% on Rotten Tomato scores. Very good scores, right? Not so good for this one. So Killer Heat on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is 19. The Rotten Tomatoes popcorn score, which is the audience score, a whopping 31. The Metacritic score from Metacritic.com, 33. See a trend here? The Internet Movie Database score, which is usually the most generous of them because it's voted by people on Internet Movie Database, is 5.6 out of 10. Cinema Score did not review it because it wasn't on enough screens to rate their scoring. Now, here's my problem with Killer Heat. First, they lied to you twice because the movie's not killer and it ain't got no heat. So that's your first problem. The second problem is the story is long and dull, especially because if you're like me, you figured it out in the first 20 minutes of the movie and you hope and pray that it doesn't end the way you think it's going to end. And then it ends the way you think it's going to end. So you spend all this time taking the slow ride with semi-interesting characters. And then boom, that's the end. And you're like, yeah, I knew that. And I'll give you just one little hint about what I mean by this. What usually happens in a movie that stars identical twins? Don't answer that, Johnny. I just want you all to think what usually happens in a movie that features identical twins, because that's exactly what happens in this movie. Now, I would like to see more stories featuring Levitt's detective. He's really good in this. He apparently, I don't know if he has any Greek ancestry in him or not, but he seems to speak Greek pretty fluently when he's talking to the locals there. And as I said, Shailene Woodley is terrific in it. She's this mysterious almost woman whose brother is the identical twin of the man who was fallen off the cliff. So she's very good as well. It's just that the story plays out so slowly. It's very, very talky. It's slow moving as far as the direction and editing go, it just kind of hobbles along. There's supposed to be this big surprise at the end that wasn't a surprise. It was more of an eye roller, like really. But overall, I would rather see this character in another movie than this movie. So the question is, what? Is it as bad as they say it is?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Ooh.
I would give it right along the rating of a 30 myself. So I'm right there with the popcorn score or the Metacritic score. It just wasn't what I hoped it would be. I mean, killer heat, Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing a detective, right up my alley, right? Even though Killer Heat probably should have been a Richard Castle story.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Exactly. I think it might be.
it might very well be. But it just was kind of disappointing. So if you come across Killer Heat and you got an hour and 45 minutes you want to just throw in the trash, then by all means do it. But if you're a detective story fan like I am, this doesn't have any bite, doesn't have any passion. It doesn't have any chemistry really between the characters. It's not really supposed to. It's got a little redemption in it. So there's that. But otherwise, I just can't recommend it. So I would say that in this case, it's as bad as they say it is.
I just looked up Killer Heat book. There is a book out there called Killer Heat, but it's by Linda Farstein.
Okay, well, that doesn't surprise me.
Fairstein.
That doesn't surprise me.
But it has nothing to do with what this movie is.
No, well, how many books are called, The End? A zillion.
Mm.
All right, so anyway, here's Shailene Woodley as she appears in the movie. So also, as I said, a Ventura County resident. Good to see you, Shailene. Good to see you doing well. Joseph Gordon-Levitt playing his character, the detective in this. In that scene, he's talking to the chief of police, and the chief of police is basically telling him, "Get the hell out of my town."
Now, remember, Joseph Gordon-Levitt played the young alien, the very young alien on was it Third Rock from the Sun?
Yes, and he was he's been nominated for Oscars and for Emmys, and he may have even won an Emmy for that show. So,
and he's very comedic.
Here's the rest of the cast as well. Here's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Shailene Woodley, and Richard Madden, who plays the identical twins. So anyway, that's my take on that. I'm sorry that it didn't work out. Sometimes it doesn't. And it's obviously not, the director maybe just was in the wrong place for this one, because as I said, his previous films, Night of the Kings, 96%, Lamb, 89%. He knows what he's doing. It just, this one just didn't quite click. And one of the problems might be, is based on a short story. So maybe they tried to lengthen it too much instead of, what I'm saying? So the other thing I want to talk about, and I wish I could play the trailer for you folks, but I can't. But I will recommend you go to youtube.com and watch the trailer for The Sticky. Okay, I know what you're thinking. It's called The Sticky. Let me tell you about The Sticky. The cast includes Margot Martindale, who is one of the greatest actors on the face of the planet. Everything that woman is, she makes magic. You know Martin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Margot, I mean, not Martin.
Yeah,
that would be your brother.
She was great on
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear and
Justified.
Justified. That was the one I was looking for.
I think she won the Emmy for Justified. She was that good.
Oh my goodness. What's she called the drink?
The apple pie.
Yeah, apple pie. Oh.
So anyway, Margot plays a tough middle-aged maple syrup farmer in Canada. And somebody comes, the bureaucracy comes for her syrup. Well, she can't have that. She needs her syrup in order to survive. Well, they're going to take it whether she likes it or not. So she decides to hire herself some criminals to steal the syrup that these guys have stolen from her.
To steal it back.
Steal it back. Now, I'm in already. But then this happens. And I know you folks can't see this, but Jamie Lee Curtis shows up as apparently as a hired killer or something. And they had me at Margot Martindale. I gave them my money at Jamie Lee Curtis. It's like, I can't wait to see this movie. Now, I keep saying movie, and I've said movie since I saw the trailer. It's not a movie. It's a series. So it's going to be a series. It's going to be on, I'm not sure what network it's going to be on. Prime, Amazon Prime. It's funny because the trailer that we watched was a Canadian trailer. And so it was talking about Canadian dollars to sign up for Amazon Prime. And I thought, are we going to be able to see this in the States? And Shelley said, they spent money on Margot Martindale and
Jamie Lee
Curtis. I just noticed something weird. What happened to our Jack Daniels sign?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looked like, I'm sorry for the sudden interjection. It looked like our white Jack Daniels Tennessee whiskey sign on the wall had turned black on half, and I couldn't figure out what happened. Then, as you look at it at a different angle, you realize it's silver, and that's the reflection of the Motorhead coat in the. So anyway,
That's funny.
that did shock me. Anyway, the sticky is something that I'm really looking forward to, and I want to know. It's not till February or January, February, I don't think, but I can't wait to see the series. I got to remember it's a series. If you watch the trailer, it feels like a movie, but it's a series. So the sticky coming soon on Amazon Prime. Box office. I was going to talk about the weekend box office here because it's still very interesting out there, folks. The things you think are going to be hits are the things you don't think are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So the big movie out this weekend is Red One. This is the Christmas themed movie starring The Rock and Chris Evans and J.K. Simmons. Just here's my money. Just take my money. I'm going to go see this.
All three of these people are. Yep. Here you go.
The reviews are not good. The reviews are
Oh,
sitting
no.
in the low 30s. Now, The Rock is in a bad position right now because critics don't like him. So you have to take, I'm sorry, you have to take that into consideration because the audience score is in the 80s. So the audience likes it a lot more than the critics do. So you have to take that with the measure that it reveals. The box office, it did 3.7 million opening weekend. They're saying between 30 and 35 for the, 3.7 for the previews, 30 to $35 million for opening weekend. If history shows us anything, it's going to be less than that because these movies they predict are going to do 30 to 35, end up doing 29 or something like that. So for a $200 million movie, that kind of hurts. And I don't know what its overseas credibility is. We'll have to see what it does overseas as well because we don't know that at this point. As a matter of fact, we'll check that to be sure. But $200 million. Now, here's the good thing for Dwayne and the crew. This is the kind of movie that can play all the way through New Year's.
Yeah.
Because it's a holiday movie. The bad news for them is we've got Moana 2, which isn't really too much bad news for Dwayne Johnson since he's in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Gladiator 2, which is still the worst title of the year, but has got pretty decent reviews so far. So, I don't know what the end game is going to be for Red One. I don't know that it's going to make any difference because I'm convinced that Moana 2 is going to be a smash hit. But Dwayne really needs to get some hits to bolster his sagging career. And I say sagging career because most people would dream of having his sagging career, but he used to be the highest paid actor on the planet. And I don't think he is anymore. And there's a lot of rumors about how he is on set, which he's tried to correct and which people have corroborated. For example, they say he was always late to set and he was mean to crew members. The director and Chris Evans, who stars in this movie, said there's never been a nicer guy on set. He's pleasant and friendly to everybody. And yes, he's late every day. And The Rock said, yeah, I am late every day. So they say that the director said, look, I know he's going to be late. He goes to the gym every morning. He has a time. He's always late. So I work things around when I expect him to arrive. My wife's point, and she's not wrong, is that this gives the crew the impression that, oh, he's better than us. He can show up whenever he wants. So even though we have to be at work on time, he gets to show up whenever he does. I get it. He's the star, but you don't want to have that impression with your crew. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
Well, when I was working in the industry, I'd always heard stories how Sylvester Stallone was very difficult to work with and how he treated the crew and the cast. The same thing with a bunch of other actors that I had the fortunate to meet them, and everything, it was the farthest thing from the truth. They were so nice. Sylvester Stallone, really nice to his crew. Everybody that I met were so nice because, you heard all these stories. The only people that I found that were obnoxious to other people around them.
Catty.
Yeah.
The word that I know, if you're going to say what I think you're going to say,
was what I call the so-called professional extras.
Oh,
who,
interesting.
who have no lines whatsoever. They're just bodies
Yeah.
there. And they think, well, I've done this, I've done that. I'm
You
in
gotta
a
admit
Sylvester Stallone.
You got to admit that's cool. You're a professional extra. Well, I was in Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
know,
I understand that. But their attitude towards like the craft services people, I want this. Make this for me. No.
There's a bowl of M&Ms. Have a fistful.
Exactly. And I did craft services on some sets. And so yeah, would I go out of my way to help the main talent? Oh, yes, I would. Because that's what I'm getting paid to do.
You're getting paid to go out of your way for everybody, Johnny.
Well, no, I understand that. But if
they're a jerk, you're a jerk back. It's just the way nature works.
Exactly. You want it? Okay. There, like you said, there's a bowl of M&Ms.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's coffee over there. There's the cups. I'll hand you the cup. But if Dwayne Johnson said, "Hey, John, can you fix this for me and bring it to my trailer?" Yeah, I'll do that. Because that, to me, if it wasn't for that big name on the thing,
there wouldn't be a movie.
Right. And they were not being, that big talent wasn't being obnoxious to
That's
me.
the key. That is
exactly.
The key. Because I will agree with you. I think Hollywood is still the only place where you get paid. It's going to sound like I'm saying something wrong, but listen, let me finish the whole thing before I go on. You get paid what you're worth.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is that Dwayne Johnson puts more butts in seats than does the guy who played the person who walked behind him on the street.
Right.
And that needs to be recognized in that kind of situation. It's just a fact. It's like and I love Daniel Kim, when he said he deserved as much money as the lead for Hawaii Five-0. Mm-hmm. No, you don't. You're not the star. It's not about whether you're a better actor or whatever. It's about, are you the star? Do people watch that show because of you? Yes, many people watch the show because of Daniel Kim, but most people watch it because of the lead.
Daniel Kim is a fantastic actor.
He absolutely is. And I'm always impressed by him, but I think he was wrong in that situation. You don't get paid. And if I'm mistaken about this, if this isn't the real story, which I read on, I think, Variety, then I apologize, but this is what I read. You don't get paid the same amount just because you're in the same show. The higher the talent, the bigger the draw, gets the most money. That's the thing that always works.
Okay. Did we say what Red One was about?
No, why would we? Everybody should know by now. Red One is about Santa Claus getting kidnapped. You know what? No, I take that back. Red One is about J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. That's all you need to know. Yeah. You just go because J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus. But he does get kidnapped, and The Rock and this what is Chris Evans' character?
Jacko.
Well, he's not a warrior. He's like a computer guy or something, isn't he? Anyway, he's on the bad list, but they have to employ him to help them find Santa Claus because Santa's been kidnapped.
And you know who else is in it? Lucy Liu.
That's right. God, I love Lucy.
Oh God, she is. When she did that series,
Charlie's Angels, Elementary. How many?
Yes, Elementary. Thank you. I was going to say Sherlock Holmes. No, it's called Elementary, which is available on Amazon Prime Video.
Great series too. Yes. I highly recommend. As a big Sherlock Holmes fan, I highly recommend Elementary.
Lucy Liu is just. I got to tell you, I am so much in love with every character she plays.
She's amazing.
Whether she is a good person, a good character, or a bad character, she is amazing.
James, your brother, and I wrote a script once, and we never finished it because we were. Everybody knows the character Krampus now. Krampus has become like the horror film for the Christmas season. It's funny because James and I were there first. Mm-hmm. Our problem was we called him by his English name, which was Black Peter, mm-hmm. which is as bad as naming a book Dead Dick. And we were told this time and time again by studio heads, and we just thought they didn't get it. All these years later, I realized, no, they were right. We should have called him Krampus. We used the name Krampus in the script, but I always loved our ending for it because in our story, Krampus escapes. He's wreaking havoc on Los Angeles, killing rock stars who are bad, killing movie stars who are bad, doing these horrible things to these people. And they can't stop him because he's Krampus, So our last scene in the movie was Krampus is about to kill our heroes. And they're all cowering in the back and Krampus is coming upon him. And you hear this enormous double barrel blast. And these two shells fall to the ground. giant shells the size of coffee cans. And they fall to the ground and they're tinkling around and they roll over and they hit a big pair of black boots that just above of which is red and white pants. You never see Santa Claus's face. You just see him. They see those feet turn around and walk out of the room. I loved our ending for that. Santa Claus comes in with the biggest shotgun in the world, takes out Krampus, and just leaves. Never see his face. Never hear him ho ho ho. You just see his boots and his pant legs. God, that was good.
Hey,
somebody should write that now, and it's okay with me.
Yeah, I want a copy of that so I can read it.
It's not finished.
I don't care.
Well, then you can pay for it like everybody else does, $15.
I guess. Wait a minute. Wait, where? Yeah,
I don't give away my writing for free.
Yeah, I'll talk to my brother.
He doesn't have the final copy. Anyway, it was.
I'll bring breakfast next time we do a show.
Oh, you taught me into it. More of Pop-Tarts with.
Oh, these are real. These are real Pop-Tarts.
Yes, I don't go with that other crap. Oh, except for the ghetto gastro.
Those were good.
No, these are real Pop-Tarts, but those aren't real chocolate chips. those are little black voting chads.
There is a Krampus in Red One.
I just said to everybody that Krampus is everywhere now.
I know. I was echoing you.
Oh, what?
I want to thank you for.
All right. So what else we got? What else can we talk about? Let's go to the box office and see what things are. I am just so happy for Venom: The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Because they just couldn't wait to tell you, it didn't make as much money as the first two. The opening weekend, it was, and then second weekend, it made money more than both of those at this point. And now it's sitting at, are you ready for this? We probably should do a drum roll. It just hit $400 million worldwide. Woo! $120 million budget, $400 million worldwide. That thing is in the profit zone. And it deserves to be. It's one of those movies that defied the critics. The critics didn't like that movie. Johnny and I went to see it. We both loved it. Thought it was just a blast. And apparently, word got out. Everybody who went to see it told their friends, it's so much fun. I mean, 120 million just in the States. That is awesome. Now it does beg the question, is this what gets Tom Hardy to come back and play it again? I don't know. We know that Tom Hardy character is alive.
Mm-hmm.
I probably shouldn't say this. It's been 4 weeks. At the end of Venom, we're not so sure about Venom, but there is a possibility.
I'm thinking that there would be, and I only say this simply because, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, you remember?
I do, but then we're not going to spoiler alert.
Okay.
But we don't know what that was or what that's going to turn to. You have a thought,
I know.
But it could be something else.
What's that creature that gets knocked off the airplane and splats?
See?
And
what if it's that?
And they took a book from
a page out of a book.
Yeah. A scene from a Arnold Schwarzenegger movie about Terminator. You remember where the one Terminator that they send to take care of, I think it was in Terminator 2, where Patrick, oh God, what's his name?
Warburton?
No. No, he comes back and
Robert Patrick.
Yeah, Robert Patrick. And his character is like a silver surfer almost.
Or a silver server.
Yeah, that too. And he gets frozen and then he gets shot and he blows up. Because of that
yeah.
And then
but we don't know what
all
that
the
is.
Pieces came back.
We
together.
don't know that's Venom. We don't know if it's that monster from space. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
All we know is it goes.
Well, that's true.
So
but, yeah.
And we don't know that Tom Hardy's coming back. But maybe if this movie can make $400 million, maybe it will. And by the way, can't wait till the trilogy's released on Blu-ray because I'm buying them all 3 at once. I want that box set. All right. Let's see what else we got here. So box office I pulled up. And I since closed. The heck's wrong with me?
Yeah, my bad. I'll take the hit on that. Don't hit me.
So anyway, so I was going to talk about the weekend box office beyond Red One. I think Red One's going to have a difficult run of it. And the next thing is Wicked. I think Wicked is also going to hurt it. I'm not, here's the thing. I know that Wicked is a big property. I know it's been a movie once. and I know it was a big play and a book, of course. This is the musical version of Wicked.
Well, wasn't the Broadway thing? Wasn't that a musical?
Yeah, but there was a regular movie too, I believe. I could be wrong. I thought there was.
No, there wasn't. I missed that movie.
So here's the thing: are we wickeded it out? I mean, you wouldn't think so from the promotion. They got it every freaking where. But on a scale of 1 to 10, Johnny, how excited are you to see this?
I'm gonna put a minus on it.
See, and I just, it just doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't draw me. Now, I know people who can't wait. Andrea cannot wait to see it. Shelly's looking forward to it. I know my mom's looking forward to it. And if they all go to the theater, that's going to do well. But I just don't see it as being this monster hit that they need. But I, you know what? I've been wrong so many times before. I still thought Furiosa was going to be huge, and Furiosa was not huge, even though it's still, in my opinion, one of the best movies of the year.
Do we have a release date for Wicked?
We can find it real quick.
Because if Red 1 is already out,
it's this coming weekend, November 22nd. Okay. So that's going to hurt. Also, Gladiator 2, I think, goes wide on the 22nd. And Moana, I don't think it opens. Well, let's see when Moana 2 opens. I can't imagine it opens opposite. And if let's find out before I make any statements here. Moana 2 opens on the 27th. So that's 5 more days. But there's 2 big family pictures opening right after Red 1. I don't know that Red 1 will survive those hits, especially with its kind of soft opening right now. But again, the critics didn't like it, but audiences do. So just take that into consideration to make your decisions to go. If you don't, and some people I know right now are down on Dwayne Johnson, which I don't really understand. But if you don't go for him, go for J.K. Simmons, because you should see everything that J.K. Simmons is in. Not to mention Chris Evans. You know, it's a good cast. Lucy Liu. Go see it for them.
I just pulled up Wicked Part 2, which is scheduled for 2025. I had no idea.
So it's like Horizon?
But Ariana Grande is Galinda again, but I have no idea if the green one, what's her name? What's that character's name?
In Wicked?
Yeah.
I don't remember. In other news, we have Disney has removed their Star Wars movie from their 2026 slate and replaced it with Ice Age 6. Now, what does this tell you? On face value, it looks like, oh, they have more faith in Ice Age than they do Star Wars. They've done a lot of damage to Star Wars. So maybe that's the case. Maybe they're thinking, we're not going to make a $300 million movie and release it in theaters. We'd rather get Ice Age in there, which cost us $80 million and is going to make more money. That's one thing. It could also be that they just can't get it done by then because there's too many special effects and casting and all that to be done. We don't know, but it has officially been moved off the slate and Ice Age 6 has been put in.
Now, if you were to ask me, which movie would I rather see, Ice Age 6 or Wicked, the musical? I'm going to go with the cartoon. I'm going with Ice Age 6. I mean, John Leguizamo is still in it. As a matter of fact, all the original voice actors are reprising their voices.
For Ice Age 6?
Yes.
Is that what it said? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, good. Well, that makes a big difference.
I saw that about a week ago.
Cool.
And I'm excited about it. Dennis Leary, Ray Romano,
I can't believe
Queen Latifah.
I'll never forget the first time I saw the trailer for the original. I thought that was hysterical. But I never would have guessed there'd be 6 movies. That's just simply amazing.
I mean, John Leguizamo, his character as that
weasel.
Yeah, a weasel. He's just every time I see John Leguizamo on the screen, like he was in God, I need my vitamins.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah, the John Wick movies.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see his character in those, I always think the weasel. For me, he is that good. Everything I've seen him in.
You don't think of that character?
Well, actually, from Spawn the movie, yeah, but also that movie he did with. It's called Executive Action
with Steven Seagal and
Steven Seagal, who it was really weird because Steven Seagal, and he was in all of maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't a Steven Seagal movie.
Yeah, it was Kurt Russell. He was in it, and like I said, John Leguizamo. It was great.
No, it wasn't.
After they got rid of.
All right. So in other news, Conan O'Brien has been picked to host the 2025 Oscars. That's awesome. Conan O'Brien. If you haven't seen his new show, Conan O'Brien Needs Friends or whatever it's called, it is absolutely freaking hysterical. I just, the man is just in a class all by himself. And this is how he made his announcement, I guess, on social media. America demanded it, and now it's happening. Taco Bell's new cheesy chalupa supreme. In other news, I'm hosting the Oscars. I love that guy too much. Funny. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. $30 million for that. Sideways Revolution. Sideways is making a big comeback, and they did a big 20th anniversary celebration and other things. If those of you who haven't seen Sideways, it's about a couple of men who go on a wine tasting tour, and it's you just have to see it to believe it. Thomas Hayden Church, Virginia Madsen, and what's his name?
You've been hanging around me too long.
I have, and I love this. Paul Giamatti. Come on, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, he's the main actor.
Yes. You got to see it. But anyway, the author who wrote the book has written a sequel. And I keep wondering, are we going to see these guys go on a wine tour again? Because if so, again, just take my money.
I missed the first one. And
you missed Sideways?
I did. And I don't know why. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there I wanted to see, and for whatever reason, I didn't. It's like we were talking about Wicked, the first movie that came out. I missed it. And I don't know why, but I did.
Yeah, I have the book sitting at home, and I'm probably going to be forced to read it by Andrea. And I will, and maybe it'll turn me on things. I don't know. It's just not my, here's the thing. It's not my genre. And I've said this many times because I liked Game of Thrones, but it's not my genre. I started to watch the Dragons follow-up series to that, and I stopped because it's not my genre. My son insisted that I read the Conan adventures. So I bought a 1,000-page book that had all the Conan stories by Robert E. Howard in it. And I'm halfway through it, but you know what? It just isn't my genre. Sword and sorcery things, I enjoy them, but in short little snippets, not 1,000-page books, not 4-year series. And I know people out there love those things because of that. And I understand the new Dune series. Dune Prophecy is supposed to be a lot like Dune meets Game of Thrones. Because if you think about it, they're very similar. Dune is about all these families and royalty and all this stuff, and so is Game of Thrones. So, I'm going to try it because I love the 2 Dune movies. They're just spectacular. But anyway, we'll see more about that. Any other news? Go ahead.
Yes, I just looked up Wicked, the first movie. It was released in 1998.
Really?
Yes, and it had Julia Stiles in it, who is a really good actress, or excuse me, the term now is still actor. Michael Parks, Weimar Moses. I missed that movie for whatever reason, and I hope I can find it because I'd like to see it.
Okay. Last night we watched the first episode, and this will be the last thing for today, folks, of Cross, the new Amazon Prime series with Aldous Hodge, based on the character by James Patterson. I will tell you this just from the first episode, so don't take this to the bank yet. Just write out the deposit slip. I am not a fan of James Patterson. I know he's the best-selling author in the world, and he laughs at my little books, but I just don't like his style of telling stories. He tells stories and takes so many shortcuts, and there's so much plot holes in his books that I have a hard time reading them. It's like, wait a minute, how can he do that? It bugs me every time I read a James Patterson book. Again, he sells 40 million books a year. I sell 70. So what does that tell you?
Oh, that's not 70 million either.
No, it is not. 70 books.
70.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for that, John. I'm glad you.
Hey, you're welcome. Hey, what are friends for? Right?
Anyway, I watched the series because I am a huge Aldous Hodge fan, and he was great in this as well. But series didn't do a whole lot for me. I wasn't that impressed. My wife, who reads everything that Patterson writes, Oh, by the way, the reason I didn't care for it is it's too Patterson-y for me.
Mm.
They're telling the story and things happen and then they just go away. It's like, for example, there's one scene where they're walking a suspect through a crowd and somebody shoots him in the head and they drop him and they look around and it's like no big deal. It's like, no, you're walking a suspect who just got shot in the frickin' head. It should be a lot more dramatic than that, but it's not.
The what head?
Frickin'.
That's what I thought you said.
That's what I said. And so anyway, so I thought I just didn't care for the first episode. My wife, who loves James Patterson books, she reads all of them, and I mean all of them. Even the Dolly Parton one that he wrote with her. And she's also a huge Aldous Hodge fan from Leverage, of course, which I'm going to repeat that line because I love it so much, but we'll get to that. She didn't like it at all. She's all, I don't want to watch that show ever again.
I
don't know.
I wanted to watch it and I totally forgot, but I will
check it out and we'll talk about it next week. Not next week, next week. We'll be back next week. My line from Leverage, which I'll never forget. Timothy Hutton's character is sitting there with a multi-billionaire. He's like an Elon Musk kind of guy. And the billionaire's telling him, you think you can beat me? I have computer programmers all over the world. I have insight to every single server that's on the planet. I have the best programmers on the planet. You think you can beat me? And Timothy Hutton looks at him and goes, I have a 21-year-old with a cell phone. I win. And he's talking about Aldous Hodge, who was a computer genius. God, I love that line. It was just perfect.
His character on the original Everage and then Everage.
Yeah, that's the
Leverage and then Leverage Redemption. And I'm hoping that's coming back, even though
Leverage Redemption is coming back. I don't think Aldous is going to have time to join them this year. And this is kind of a cool thing about Aldous. He loved Leverage so much that he was an Avenger. He was in with Avenger movies, and he still took time to do a few cameos through Leverage Redemption.
And maybe that's what he'll do.
I hope. I've read that he's not. I read he's not going to do it this time. So, but I don't know. That doesn't mean he won't. That just means that that's what they said. But I love him to return. And he just did bright little cameos. Sometimes, oh my God, this is it. This is the end. We're going to break out. Beep, phone. I got you guys out of there. That's all it took. it was great. Leverage is an awesome show. Leverage and Leverage Redemption. Watch both of them. They were on Freevee, which is no longer. Freevee went away.
Oh, it did?
Freevee has been absorbed by its parent company, Amazon.
Oh,
so now if you want to watch stuff that's on Freevee, you sign into your Amazon Prime account and you can watch it for free.
Because and Freevee was, before Amazon got hold of it, was IMDb TV.
Oh, it was? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I believe Amazon, I don't know if they bought IMDb parent or, what I guess you'd call it parent, but they did acquire the IMDb TV.
I did not know that. It looks like it is still owned by Amazon. Yep, a subsidiary of Amazon. I love Internet Movie Database. I hope it never goes away. I use it so much. I probably should subscribe, but it's like $20 a month, and I don't have $20 a month. The show cost me like $20 a month. It actually costed me a lot more than that.
Well, I've got Prime Video. I don't have Netflix. So, and one of the things I really enjoy about Prime Video, no, Amazon is not paying us for this.
We wish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I get to watch a lot of the old TV series that I watched as a kid. The black and white Westerns. Like
the Rifleman.
Oh, the Rifleman.
Who's the guy who greenlit the Rifleman?
Greenlit?
Yeah.
Probably our former boss.
Burt Rosen told us. Well, he told us that he was the one who greenlit the Rifleman.
And the Rebel. A lot of those old movies or TV shows and old movies. Oh, there's even some of not Jackie Chan. Oh man, I can see it. It was about
Peter Sellers.
No, that's close. Big heavy set guy. No, that's not Peter Sellers. No,
could be. He can play anything.
Jackie. Oh, not Jackie Chan.
Jackie O.
No. He was in San Francisco. He was
Carl Malden.
Next thing you're going to say, Douglas.
I was waiting, but you blew my cue.
No, in San Francisco.
Michael Douglas?
Close. He's in what we used to call Asian, but now the term, what is the term?
The term
now?
is Asian.
Oh, it is. We used to say
Racist.
Oriental. Asian detective who had his sons were involved with solving crimes, and for the life,
Charlie Chan.
yes, thank you. God, I could not.
God, that was a lot of work for Charlie Chan.
I got the Chan part. Well,
Charlie Chan is a fictional Honolulu police detective.
Oh well,
You know that? I didn't know he's I didn't know he's from Honolulu. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, that's across the water from San Francisco.
So's China.
Yeah, but I didn't go that far.
It's true. All right, folks, that's it for today. Thank you for listening to today's show. As always, we will be back next week here talking more about the same, which means if you tolerated this, maybe you'll tolerate us again next week. Johnny has his red pen up for some reason.
Yes. One more thing, because I didn't get to do it last week and probably the week before.
You're not doing it again.
Go to Amazon.com and look up R. Scott Bolton,
we
author,
already did that.
and buy his books. Christmas is coming.
You know what else was coming? The end of the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you next
Hey,
week.
later. Go to your local theaters.
That's a good. Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.